Okay, this is Julie Pearson, Little Thunder with the Oklahoma Oral History Research Program at Oklahoma State University. Today's February 18th, 2020, and I'm interviewing Behnaz Sohrabian in Edmond, Oklahoma. Sohrabian, pardon me, in Edmond, Oklahoma for the Oklahoma Women Artists interview series. Behnaz, you're an Iranian American. You became an American citizen in 2017, and you work in a range of genres from landscapes to florals to figurative studies of women and abstract paintings as well. There's a strong graphic element to a lot of your work, and as you say in your resume, you sort of see everything as connected to your positioning as a woman. I look forward to learning more about your art and life. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Yes, my name is Behnaz and my last name is Sorabian. And I was born in Kermanshah and I grew up in Tehran. My father was in army. He was colonel, and at that time he was on mission. Uh, and I was born in Kermanshah. It's a big historical monumental city. And when I was 10 or 11 years old, I went there to visit my city. Yes, and when I was around 2 years old, my parents moved to capital to Tehran.
I see.
Yeah, and when I was 10 years old, my mother uh, noticed that I'm interested in drawing and painting. Then I started to go to different art classes. But the first art class that I started when I was 10 years old, my instructor or mentor's name was Nima Petgar. So he was a great mentor, and I continue studying and practicing uh, since 45 years ago.
Since you
Yes.
were 10 years old.
Exactly.
What was it like growing up in Tehran? You probably don't have many memories since you were just two when you moved, but before
Yeah.
in your birth village. But what was it like growing up in Tehran?
You know, I can tell you when I was around 5, 6 years old, I remember, my memories. Before that, I don't know. I don't have any memory.
Right.
Yes, but uh, Tehran is a great city. It's capital.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can tell you, the majority of the capitals, it's a crowded city, and most of the time you spend your time in traffic jam. Yes. But it's my first home, and I love Tehran, and I love Iranian people as well. Yes. But
What
here, actually, it's my second home, Oklahoma, and I love Oklahoman people also. Yes.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
What was your creative environment like in your home?
Um, at that time, actually, I was a kid, and my brother and my sister, that they were older than me. And I'm the youngest kid. They moved to U.S. to continue their education in U.S. So I was the only child. So. My parents had great attention on me, and always they asked me about art, which classes are you going to participate in for the art galleries. They were so interested into taking me to the checking art galleries and museum. Yeah, yeah.
And did you have art in your home a little bit too that you
Yes,
paid
yes,
attention
yes,
to?
yes. I had a room for myself, so I had my easel, and also I have a few pieces that I did when I was 10 years old, and my ex-husband, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, he gave me as a gift or surprise gift when I met him in Dubai. He brought for me and he said, I think you left something in our house. I said, what was that? And then I opened the envelope and I saw, yeah, there are my paintings when I was 10 years old. Yeah, it was so interesting. And
Do you remember your very first
oh,
piece of art you
yeah,
made?
yes, yes.
What was your first piece of art you made?
It was a still life, and at that time, most of our practice was from the photo, and we tried to copy and study them. Then we started to set a good still life, and we tried to paint it. Yeah, I will show a few of them.
And this was under Nemo
Nima
Nima
Pettigar. Yes.
Yes.
Pettigar.
Pitika.
Yes.
So he, at 10 years old, you take your first classes and he's
Yes.
teaching
Yes.
and he recognizes your talents and
Yes.
encourages you.
Exactly. He was so patient. He was a great mentor, and I was the youngest student. Maybe we had one or two students as age as me. Yeah.
But most of them were older.
Yes, they were teenager. They were young, beautiful ladies.
And did the class meet once a week or?
Yes, once a week, and it was on Thursday because our weekend in Iran is Thursday and Friday, and the class was far away from our house, so my mother tried to stay in class and reading magazine or something like this for 3 hours. It wasn't easy. So yes,
She was devoted to.
yes, exactly.
Can you talk a little bit about your school experiences and whether there was an art component in school? But what were your school experiences like at what we would call elementary or junior high level?
Yeah, in school we had maybe a class for art, but everybody does everything that they like. There isn't any obligation to do something that teacher asked us, and it was it's good because after I graduated from art school, I learned we shouldn't push children to do this, to do that for especially for art, because we limit their creativity. It's not good. So maybe at that time it was a great chance for us, or our teacher didn't ruin our creativity, and we were so free, and we tried to create everything that we wish. So now when I have student, maybe around 10 to 15, I try to guide them, but I don't want to push them to obey my rules or regulation for the drawing. I wanted them to be free, and that's important. At that time, yeah, our art classes was so fun. We really enjoyed. Yeah.
And it's girls going to school together, or did you have?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. When I was 13 years old, we had a revolution, and after revolution, they separate boys and girls, and yeah, we were separate.
So prior to that, it was boys and girls in the same classes. Prior to the revolution.
Before revolution, they were mixed, but after that, yeah, um, especially yes, for schools and for even for universities, I have experience. My um, first bachelor is in chemistry from Azad University, and their staircase is. Separated, for girls and for boys, even for the elevator, you know. Yeah.
And yet you got this degree in chemistry, which is a
Yes.
science.
Yes. When I was 18 years old, I passed the entrance exam for nursing school, but when I was a freshman, I decided to change my major. Then I got married, and I was so excited for marriage.
So you finished your degree, but you got married.
Oh,
Right after.
I changed my major. I went to Science University in Azad University. At that time, I was married.
I see.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I got married very, very soon. Yes, in when I was 18 years old, my ex-husband met me. Then we got married. Then my girl was born. Um the older one next year. Then I went to school and I graduated from Azad University in applied chemistry. Then I decided to go to art school because I thought Iranian care about degrees. So yeah, I graduated from art school, and the name of my university is Al Zahra. Then my master is in art studies from Art University. Yes.
So while you were getting your degree in chemistry, you're also raising your daughter, and you're not painting very much, or
Yes, yes. I practice, but I couldn't, be a full-time painter. But when I graduated from, Science University, I had more time, and I tried to go to different art classes. Then one of my friends told me, "Your drawing is great, so it's good. We have a kind of appointment with our professor at art university and show him your drawing." Then I show him my drawing, and he encouraged me to have a solo exhibition. Then
oh wow.
yeah, I try to find a good gallery to display my paintings and drawings. Then the lady who was the owner of the art gallery told me, you are self-taught, and I don't let you have exhibition in my art gallery. Yes, because of that.
Because you don't have a degree.
Yes, because of that, it came to my mind, it's better I go to art school. And I asked my friend, "Are you going to help me? Because I have to study hard." And she said, "Of course." And she introduced some classes for studying art major. Then, after 1 year studying hard, I passed the entrance exam. And also at the same time, I had my solo exhibition at Berg Art Gallery.
At a different gallery where they were
Yes.
not insisting
Yes.
you already have your degree.
Yes, exactly. That lady was picky about the degree,
Mm-hmm.
but the other art galleries, I think they don't care about. Yeah, now I think the most important, your artwork should
Mm-hmm.
have something to say
Yes.
to audience, not my degree.
Right.
Yes.
So what was the art landscape like in Tehran at that time? What kinds of styles were popular? Were galleries equal opportunity places for women
Yeah.
artists and male artists?
We have a different subject matters for displaying the art pieces in different art galleries. And for portrait figure, it's a little bit hard because it's a Islamic government in Iran, so they have their rules that nude drawing it's forbidden, and they check art galleries before having a show. This information is related to 10 years ago before I moved here.
Right.
And I'm obsessed with portrait figure.
Yes.
And as an artist, I think a good artist should know about the structure of the face and the body joints, muscles, everything is great help. And knowledge always, I say, doesn't hurt. I don't want to just to splash the colors. It's better we have knowledge about the body. The hardest, I think, part of the drawing and painting is figure. So it's hard to display nude, or maybe it's impossible. At that time, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I tried to cover some part of the figure or nude drawing with just flat and plain surface of the colors as a collage or as a just plain surface. And you can see my pieces on my page on Facebook, my business page that I classified them with before 2010. So you can see I found at that time the way that I can communicate with my people. But here, just there isn't any limitation.
Right.
There isn't any censorship. So I'm free. I can have a figure, nude figure, and I just try to connect with your question. Yeah, but we have different show with different subject matters in Tehran, and we have great artists also that they can communicate with people around the world nicely,
Yes.
beautifully. Yes.
Having a global impact. So you work in a very representational style, but I wonder if you can just talk a little bit about traditional, maybe Persian painting and what that might have, how much you were exposed to that, and what they might have, how that might have impacted your work.
Okay. The masterpieces that we have, they are so small, they are beautiful, they the artist goes to the details and they just completed with some uh, poem or stories, and they are narrative and maybe
Storytelling.
exactly. I think maybe I try, or maybe instinctively, this kind of narrative or having story behind each work of the Asian Persian paintings come to my art, because I can I cannot paint a 100 or pure abstract. Mine has, even when I paint abstract painting, it has a kind of story behind my abstract painting. A portrait figure, yes, you can find, uh, story, and there is a different interpretation. And I think it's great when people interested in my paintings, and I'm shocked at how they connected to these paintings, because our language is different, our culture is different, my individual culture is different with Iranian women and also with American women, but they can communicate, and it's shocking for me. Yeah. So I want to get back to your question again about the uh, ancient pieces that we have. They have great color combination. They are so vivid. They are so happy colors, and they have the story. Yes, and you can see how they are modern, how they are contemporary. How the artist is intellectual. And that many artists just look at these pieces and get some inspiration.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, do you join a women's artist association in Tehran? Or I noticed that as you start having shows, um, you're not only having shows in Tehran, but you're also having shows. I think there was one in Amman, Jordan at the UN, and one in
Yes.
Turkey. I guess my first question is, are you part of a sort of artist league of women, or are you just part of a group that gets chosen to exhibit here or there?
It was a society of painting in Tehran that I took my paintings to the meeting, and it was a group juror, and they checked my pieces. Then they accepted my uh, paintings and my level. They thought it's good, so I can be one of them. So it's a kind of uh, Iranian painting society, something like this. And then when I had a group show in Oman, it was from our university. They
I
chose
see.
or collect our paintings, and yeah, we had show over there. Then I started to send my paintings here. uh, my brother, who lives in uh, Georgia, Atlanta, he started to bring my drawings. At that time, I was student, and he encouraged me to, yeah, create more and more. So,
Was he selling them
yes,
for you? Uh huh.
yes, yeah, yeah. He
Neat.
sold. I remember 2009, we had a good sale, and he gave me the whole money without taking any portion from himself. That's awesome.
He doesn't have a gallery, but he was just selling directly to other people, or
He is selling art pieces now,
I
but
see.
now, unfortunately, we don't have any connection. But at that time, he started to sell paintings, and he started to bring art from the other states and other countries also.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was dealing art.
Yes.
Selling art.
Yes. Yeah.
So how did you end up coming to the United States?
Yeah. My father was the first person who came to US before they have me, and then always he was talking about US and American people, how they are nice and warm, friendly. So it was my dream to move someday to US, and they sent my brother, and my parents sent my brother and sister to US to continue their education at university. And then I was the youngest kid, so I couldn't come to US because the American embassy was occupied at that time, and I was 13, 14 years old. Then my brother told us it's better Behnaz stay in Iran. Then when you graduate from high school, then you can move here. I said, okay. And then I got married. Then I couldn't come here. For the first time when I came here to visit as a visitor, I was 28 years old with my oldest girl, 21. I'm sorry, she was 7 years old and I was 28. Then I really loved America. And
Did you go to Georgia first, or where did you go first?
I came, I think I went to Georgia first, then I came to Oklahoma, then I went to Georgia, then I went to Tehran. My ticket was something like this. Yes, then, yes, my ex-husband told me we can go to US to visit our family, but we can make money and work in Tehran. And I said, okay. But I came here
He
five
had
or six
family here
times.
too.
Yes, his family live in California.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I came here during when I was married 5 or 6 times. Then when I got divorced, then I said, okay, it's a good time to move to another place. And America is the best place for me because, I was in love with America.
How did your father come? Was he just being a tourist when he came?
He was on mission. He
Okay.
was in army, as I told you. So for 1 year, he was in Maryland. He
Okay.
passed 2 courses, and yeah,
Training.
yes,
Okay.
and still I have his notebook. That it's awesome. He is so organized. His handwriting is beautiful. Yes. Then 2009, I went to Penny Square Mall, and I had a few of my pieces. Then I met Galen Thomas, and I showed him my pieces, and he said, yeah, you can have one wall here, you can rent it. And then I rent a wall. Then my sister was responsible for replace paintings for me.
Because this is a collective where everybody takes turns painting. for part of the space?
At 50 Penn Place Art Gallery, they rented their walls.
I see. Okay.
Every month, 2 months,
Yeah.
it depends. And I rented, a wall. And I started to send my paintings for 1 year to my sister. And my brother, before that, brought my pieces to US, to Georgia, before 2009. Then 2010, I came here, so I started working with 50 Penn Place Art Gallery. In 2012, I met Joy Rietveld at her art gallery, and she told me she likes my car, I'm sorry, my works. Sometimes I mix Persian or Farsi words with
Sure.
English words.
That's all right.
Yeah. I said car. Car means painting,
Okay, great.
artwork, something
Thank
like
you.
this. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, she said it's good. So we can have your pieces next month. So since 2012, I work with Joy Rietveld
Okay.
at the JRB Art Gallery.
At JRB. Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool, and I can imagine that it was not easy shipping that before you came out here. It was
Yes.
not easy shipping things.
No, it was hard. Even, I think for my brother was hard because packing artworks, it's not easy. At that time, most of my drawing was on paper, cardboard, and I know he had a tough time maybe for packing of them. Yes.
Yeah. So after you got here, how much did your art change? You've already got this pretty representational style, but it's also a very expressive style. It's not realism
Yes.
necessarily, or hyper-realism.
Exactly.
How did your colors maybe and your subject matter change after you got here?
Yeah. Before 2010, my works tended to be abstract, figurative, but I don't know how ended up being realism, not photorealism, but you can see and you can recognize it's a face and it's a figure. But I think the lifestyle, everything, environment affect my works and the style.
And that freedom maybe to do this.
Yes, yeah. The style is
To be the
completely
human body.
different. Yeah, but I see the essence of my pieces is different with the other artists that grow up in European country or in America. As an Iranian American artist, the soul and the feeling of my painting is different. It shows it's not European or American artist. It's a kind of sadness maybe you can see in my works that I think it's related to my life, to being a woman, Iranian woman, because I spent a lot of time in Iran in my first home. So it's not easy.
So not necessarily a sadness over being in between places, but a sadness that has to do with perhaps your personal life, but also kind of a historical legacy too.
Yeah, I think I have hope in my paintings, and also I don't have any depression. Personal, I wanted to explain my personality, my character. I have a lot of hope, and I love to be alive, and also I try to convey this energy on canvas or on paper. But I see, even when I have a model, even when I hire a model, I see a kind of sadness there is in the portrait, in their eyes. I can tell you, it comes to my art unconsciously, because maybe these kind of experience that I had in my life during 55 years old, it's this experience is a raw material for my words, for expressing myself, for communicating with my viewers through visual elements, uh, through colors, lines, and composition. And yeah, it's not easy to be a woman. It's not easy to move to another country with a different language, with different culture. Immigration is not easy. Adaptation is not easy. And I had the experience of revolution in our country, war with Iraq for 80 years, and getting divorced after 25 years. It's not easy. So yeah, it comes unconsciously in my art. But whenever I have class here or I have workshop, I have energy and I ask people just be in present and forget about your problems, because art helped me a lot. When I paint, when I draw, I'm in present moment, and it's perfect because as a human being, we like to be in past and feel regretful about our past, and we are very anxious about our future. But when I paint, when I draw, I'm in present, and it's great meditation.
That's beautifully put. And I love that you explained that sort of sadness that creeps in at times. And I noticed on your CV, I mean, on much of your work, and it evokes a whole range of emotions, but on much of it, you don't necessarily identify like an ethnicity or a nationality with your work. But you did have on your CV, you had these portraits of a woman with some Farsi script,
Yes.
some writing in different positions over the face. And that was very evocative for me. And I wonder if you could talk about those pieces a little bit and how
Yes.
you used writing in them.
Yeah, I try to paint these pieces uh, to say something to my viewers, that it's not easy to talk, to speak about everything, Because of that, these nonsense letters in Farsi just cover my neck, that they are here, they are not coming to my mouth. I cannot make word, a suitable sentence with these letters.
Because they are nonsense words in
They
Farsi.
they are nonsense, but when we put these letters very beautifully, we can make a good word, a good voice. But who listen these words? Woman is a complex creation. They are beautiful, they are strong, but sometimes because of the dignity, because of some limitation that we have in our culture, as a mom, I couldn't express myself, what's in my heart, what's my problem. I tried to hide it, and I couldn't share it with people, even with my intimate friends. We have a kind of wall between our relationship. But these days, our generation is, a new generation, they are different. And also, when I move here, my personality is getting change, and I'm so happy because I don't want to lie. And when somebody asks me a personal question, I explain to them, and without any censor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I try to share with them, and I feel much better. At that time, I couldn't express my feeling. I couldn't say what's my problem. So these letters just cover my eyes, cover my mouth, cover my neck. That shows these letters just nonsense, and she cannot express her uh, personality. Because in our culture, if we do something, they say, oh, you are a girl, you are a nice lady, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I don't agree.
Yeah, and I think that comes across very powerfully, even though a person might not recognize the individual Farsi, characters, and
Yes.
know that message of kind of repression, or not being able to speak or see, or I think that comes
Yes.
through really strongly. Can you talk a little bit about the position of women in American society, that from your viewpoint as an artist, what disappointed you and what surprised you? You'd already had a little bit of exposure, but
I think it's a first country in the world, US. So they are so open-minded, intellectual. So I hope they don't have the problem that many countries just have it right now. But still, you see some salaries for women maybe is less than men. I'm a self-employed, so I don't have this kind of experience, but I've heard that for many positions that we have difference between just being
right, in pay or
yes, yeah, that it's not good.
treatment.
I hope everything getting better and better.
What is one of the best compliments you've ever gotten on your work?
The best compliment?
Or one of your favorite compliments, maybe?
Really, I'm shocked I told you, I'm shocked when people like my paintings and they say good words, and sometimes their interpretation is great. Yeah, for example, for this series that I did, the title is I'm Here, and people say their comments, their ideas about their eyes, and I really enjoy it. And sometimes they say, "Oh my God, yes, I could say my word through uh, lines, through uh, colors, paints," and it's great.
What a powerful statement to say, I thought I'm here. And then
Yes,
you have, I think, in your number 3, because it's a series, but
yes,
I'm here, just those 2 words are such
yes,
a strong statement.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I have this problem that I have a wandering mind. Sometimes I am here, but in the middle of our conversation, I go to maybe Dubai to check my daughter. Did she text me today? And then I get back to you again. It's not good. But I have wandering mind. And when I say I'm here, maybe physically I'm not here, but I am here emotionally, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
And I
And
guess I was reading it as you finding your voice and this new kind of freedom, like you said, and a different, growing into this different kind of person, and I'm here and I'm going to be reckoned with too. I mean, I think it can mean that as well.
yes, yes,
I'm here and you can't make me invisible and you can't ignore me anymore.
exactly, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
A few comments about this, that I saw many things with these eyes. I had many experiences, and you cannot ignore me. My ideas, my personality is important. You should think about it, this person in life, as a human being. We should respect you. Sometimes as a mom, when I was married, I try to be quiet. I try not to argue, not to fight. I try to respect my ex-husband ideas. But after a while, I thought, okay, I am a human being. I I have a dignity, and he should respect me. He was educated and he tried to respect my right as a mom, as a wife, as a woman, but still I expect him more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And also, this piece is called Joys and Pains. It's a self portrait again. And I thought, yes, I'm going to call these paintings Joys and Pains that make this person.
Right. That's a great.
Or that piece is Freebird, the best of the show in 2018 in Earring Art Association. Freebird. See, her arms is surrounded with reddish or maroon color. It shows its contradiction. Her arms is,
And they look
crossed.
confined.
Yes, confined, and now I call it Freebird.
Yes. You told a great story about using your younger daughter as a model sometimes.
Yes,
Can you talk
yeah.
about that experience a bit? I think there's some other artists who can
About
relate
my
to that.
daughter?
Yes.
Yes. Always, when she posed for me, after a few seconds she is starting to talk to me, and always I ask her, Mom, would you please talk to me, share your, you know, memories, and she doesn't talk to me. But when I ask her, would you please pose for me, she start remember everything. Yeah, and share everything to me. And I ask her, please don't talk. Please don't share right now because I want to concentrate. I cannot draw or paint and listen to somebody else, you know. I just want to devote every cells to my work. And she says, okay, I'm getting bored. So bye, Mom. You know, I should use my imagination to complete the drawing. It's hard. It's hard.
Oh, that's cute. Um, so you teach classes. How often do you teach?
Uh, you know, um, once a week. I
Mhm.
started once a week, and I think it's enough because always I'm alone and I'm working on my pieces, or I read an article related to art, or I go to watch a good movie at the movies. But I thought it's better I see people, and I see for many many years people ask me, do you have any class, art class? I started with a demonstration, with workshop, and I thought, yes, it's good to be among American people also once a week on Thursday. We have just maybe three artists at my home studio here. We started with a few workshop demonstration here. Then two or three of them asked me for, continuing these kind of as a class. I said that's fine. We cover every session with um, a new lesson. For example, in January we covered with abstraction and also copy the Van Gogh style.
Mhm.
And it's not enough one session, but we are going to try a different style in one session. Then we are going to concentrate maybe a few more sessions on them. Yes.
That sounds good. And they're getting a little art history too.
Yes, I give them more information
Mhm.
about, for example, what's abstraction and who is Van Gogh. And it's good for me also because when I'm getting old, maybe I forget some lessons that I was student, and it's good for my
So
memory
it
also.
reminds you. What's one of the most difficult paintings you ever did and why?
For me, difficult painting is abstract because still I want to say something through just splashing the colors. Now I'm working on one abstract uh, piece, but it came to my mind that I want to say people, it's lady justice or it's blind justice. It's not just splashing the color. I want to say there is a chaos here, and we trust lady justice to help us. Yeah.
There's a story that you're trying to get across.
Yes, it's a narrative. Yeah, painting. Yeah,
Do you do many commissions? How much of your work is commission
yeah,
work?
yeah. I started with commission work maybe uh, 2 or 3 years ago, and when somebody asks me to do something, it's hard for me to say no in many ways, you know. Really, I don't know. I just try to be positive. And now I learn to say, let me think about that. I learned this sentence. But you know, always I say, yes, I can do it, I can do it. Then when somebody asked me, can you do commission portrait? I said yes. Then when I started, it was a little bit hard to make his or her taste close to mine. I know when people ask me commission work, they like my style. Now I think it's great. I enjoy it. When people give me a 2 by 2 picture or photo, then I make it 24 by 24 and they are happy with that. Especially the client that who trust me, it's awesome. I feel great.
Give you that freedom to do what you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I think the result is great. But somebody when limit me, it's not good. Yeah.
And another thing that I got from your reading, kind of your artist statement, was this connection that you see, and it doesn't matter if you're painting florals or you're painting landscapes or you're painting women, but the connection that you see between all of these things.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think I can see woman as a flower, and I can express my feeling through brush stroke. It doesn't matter what's the subject matter. I can express, through different subject matters, and I see potential in different subjects. I remember I work in different series of the horse, that when a horse I painted and I draw and I call it he's in love. So I try to have some bold brush stroke, and I try to have a kind of a different composition, oblique maybe, because when a person is in love, is restless. It's not so strict and vertical, you know. It's restless. How can I show with brush stroke this feeling of love? It doesn't matter it's a horse or a human being or flowers. For example, I saw a documentary about Princess Diana. Then I drew or paint a few flowers, still life. Yeah.
Thinking about her and
Yes.
processing.
Or for immigration, I was thinking about immigrating. So I put a flower in the vase, and I thought, yes, I separated this flower from the root, from the main stem, but still is beautiful flower. It's a beautiful flower, but it's another place, and I call it immigrant. It's not in a root. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not in the soil. I separated, but still is alive. But maybe if it was in the main stem, in the main soul, in her first home, maybe she was more beautiful, because it's not easy to live in another country with different culture, with different language.
Yeah, and yet you've really already kind of explained how an immigrant artist, like you came as an artist and you're here as an artist,
Yeah.
but you're a different kind of artist, and the things that you're adding are so rich because you've brought with you what you have brought, and then you're adding to this new landscape. So I think you've talked about that really, really well. Let's talk about your approach and your techniques a little bit more. So your media, you work in a lot of different media.
Yeah. Yes. To me, medium doesn't matter. The brand of the colors, pens, brushes doesn't matter. You can work with just a paper and pencil and express yourself. And but I like oil medium. It's a beautiful texture, and for some reason acrylic is a good medium when I have, for example, commission work and I want to finish it up in a limited time. Dry very fast, but oil takes time. I should be patient. Yes. And also I like collage. Collage is great technique and style. Yeah.
How about when you're working in oils, you're working on canvas mostly. Do you work on masonite too?
Yes. Yes. Also I work on panel. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you incorporate much sketching into your work? Do you do preliminary sketching?
No. I start with paint, and at the same time I apply lines and colors on the canvas. And if I'm not pleased, I cover it and paint over that. Yes, and I'm a picky person. I'm not pleased easily. So always I say this story when I go to open studios. One of them is Sketches. The other one is in Edmond. The old name is CCA. Now is OACA, Oklahoma
Artists Coalition.
Art. Yeah. Something like this. But I should find it. And Ted, a person actually he's a great artist, and tell me just save this painting, don't paint over that. I said okay, I respect him. Maybe 1 week or 2 weeks after that I cover it and paint over that. Yeah. And always when I'm leaving sketches, he says save it, don't paint
don't paint over it.
It's a good piece.
That's neat.
Yeah.
What comes first for you when for that impulse, that triggering of the desire to paint? Is it a feeling, or is it a visual impression, or a thought, or does it depend?
When I'm in front of a live model, I try to look at the model a few seconds, then I get some inspiration from the light and shadows and the pose. So I get some inspiration and I try to convey my feeling, simultaneous feeling on canvas. and then I think about the composition. At the same time, when I start, I think about the composition, color combination, and essence. But maybe later, when I start, I think about the composition more. But a simultaneous feeling is important to me, and sometimes I try to save some part of my painting or drawing painting, because I call these drawing painting. It's not painting long pose. I don't work a few months on one piece. As long as I have a feeling about it, these pose, I try to finish it up, maybe one session, 3 hours,
I see.
because our feeling is changing. How can I work on one piece several months? I'm changing. My feeling is changing. I try to get some idea from this pose and transfer it on canvas. Maybe when I have a commission work and I'm working from a photo, it takes several sessions.
How important are titles for you?
Titles is important to me. When I was in Iran, I didn't think about the title. Always I say untitled, but I think it's beautiful part for me now. How I can choose a suitable title to connect with concept and the form of the painting. It's very important to me now. And when I choose a title, sometimes I really enjoy it.
How about your signature? Can you talk about that a little bit?
My signature is very, very simple. And when I started to sign them, and I didn't think that someday I'm going to make money through, selling my pieces. So I try to continue this long signature. Yeah.
And it's just simply your signature, sometimes on the left, sometimes on the right. Or
Yes, yeah. Sometimes I think it's part of my painting, and I try to have it on the left, but sometimes I think it's better I sign it on the right because of the composition. Around 2012, my signature was so big, and my clients now say, we have a few pieces of you and your signature was so big. Now I explain, yes, you're right. I thought maybe it was so expressive when I had my signature, but now I try to make it very small, and I don't want to make it as a part of the painting. But at that time, it was part of the painting. So expressive. Behnaz Sorahbian, something like this. Yeah. But now I try to be so smaller and organized. Yes.
You're taking care of your mom right now and juggling your classes and your artwork. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. 2015, my mother moved here, February 17, and today is 18. 5 years ago, she came here, and she wanted to live with me because I'm single, and at that time I was single, and I really enjoyed living with my mom, and I tried to do my best to be a good daughter for her. But three generations live here: my
Right, your
daughter,
daughter.
me, and my mom. And it's not easy.
Of women, 3 generations of women.
Yes, it's not easy. And sometimes my daughter tried to make me calm and ask me be patient in front of my mom, but it wasn't easy because my mom was so strong lady, and sometimes she was aggressive. It wasn't easy, and I learned how to entertain myself with my art, and I tried to be calm, quiet, and try to spend my time with myself, with my art. It wasn't easy because she wanted to have a good company, and I wasn't a good company for my mom. It was a challenging, tough time for all of us, but we thought this way is the best way because my mom was disabled and she couldn't live by herself. Even if I wanted to hire a nurse, it was impossible. I couldn't afford, or she couldn't afford. She was so thoughtful, and she had a property for herself in Iran, but in this situation, unfortunately, because of the politics issues, she cannot transfer her money here. So we try to cope with our problems, yes, and respect to our right. It's not easy, and since last year, she's on hospice care, and it's not easy. I have classes here. I closed the door of her room, but I should be relaxed when I teach or when I paint. It wasn't easy, but it's part of my life.
And I was going to ask you, because I saw that you were still exhibiting, I was going to ask you how the new political situation has impacted you, and you've explained an aspect of that. And I imagine it also makes it difficult to think about going to visit or exhibiting in Tehran at this point.
I don't think about having exhibition in Tehran because it's hard to ship my pieces to Tehran. One of my friends asked me if you want. I have a friend that she is interested in having your pieces here, but I told her, it's impossible shipping. It's expensive. So I just focused in Oklahoma.
You have some good venues here.
Yeah, just for art competition, I sent my paintings to another state. I don't work with other art galleries in different states. I have experience with an art gallery in California. It wasn't good because I thought he thought I'm living in Oklahoma. I am not American, so I don't know language, maybe their language. So taking advantage
Took advantage of you.
Me, it's not good because I'm immigrant and English is my second language. I know, it's not good. So I stopped working with art galleries. when there is art competition, yes.
Mhm.
If they accept my piece, I ship it to the art galleries. But other than that, I just work with JRB, and I have showed in different galleries, groups here. She let me have show here in different places as well. Yeah.
What is your relationship? There's quite a Iranian American contingent here in Oklahoma. What is your relationship with the community?
Unfortunately, I don't have any relationship with Iranian community here because when I start painting, it's challenging and take my time and energy. I don't have enough time for Iranian American community who live here, unfortunately. Also, I should take care of my mom. Also, I have a girl. So she's an independent girl. Thank God, I'm blessed to have her. Really, she helps me more than me, you know.
But it's still a very full plate.
Yes.
Well, you're in a new phase of your career here. Glad to have your work, to be able to look at your work. Looking back so far at this point in your life, what was an important fork in the road for you when you might have made a different choice, but you made this choice to take this path you're on?
Would you please repeat your
Sure.
question?
What was an important, we talk about a road and how the road will divide and you have to sort of choose to go one direction or the other. What was an important moment of choosing for you?
Yeah. You mean 10 years ago when I came
Maybe 10
here?
years ago. Do you think that was it?
You know, changing is not easy. When you push boundaries, when you push your comfort zone, it's not easy. But I think it worth. I think I made a great decision in my life. And always, I think when I think about my past, I'm so happy with my decisions. Even when I was 18 years old, I mm, wanted to get married with my ex-husband. He was educated, he was from a noble family, so I wanted to get married to him. And after 25 years, I wanted to get divorced. So, and I wanted to come here, and I want to be a full-time painter, artist, as long as I can. And I try. And it's not easy to be an artist, full-time artist, but I try. And I think I should be positive, and yeah. And I told you it's not easy to make these big decisions because it's a big change in my life. Because before 2010, I worked for high school and pre-university art school, and I was a teacher, and I work since 8 to 2 p.m. Around 3 p.m. I was home, and I was painting because I had a studio separate from my house, from my home. I had my friends, I left them. It's not easy to leave your friends. And they were intimate, they were precious for me. Now I just by email or sometimes WhatsApp or Telegram help me to communicate with them.
Right.
But it's not easy to be alone here. Always I'm painting.
You've made some big sacrifices to do this. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about before we look at your work?
Oh, I think I talk a lot today. I'm not a talkative person, but I think I talk maybe 2 hours, around 2 hours.
I really appreciate what you've shared. Well,
Oh.
we're going to take a pause and then we'll look at your work.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, we're looking at some portraits from your series I'm Here, which you
Yes.
mentioned earlier.
Yeah. The technique is oil. I use oil, and it's a self-portrait, and I think I just try to convey the essence, the feeling, the soul. I'm not looking for the likeness in this series.
Right. And such neat, I love the way you've created like flesh tones with these different colors. And
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
very effective. I'm going to tilt up here so that we see, what was it, Freebird a little bit, so we can see a bit of
Yeah,
that.
Freebird, Amber Martinez. She is American young lady. She accepted to pose for me, and maybe 1 or 2 sessions I work on this piece.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one of your nudes, but very
Yes.
different colors.
Yeah, different colors, complementary colors, like warm and cool color, red and green, complementary colors. And also the form, the pose is different. It's oblique,
Yes.
and the title is Sinking. Yeah, and I work on few paintings or drawing painting for my February show. That the title of the show was Love, and I try to have a red warm color, dominant color here, because as a symbol of the love, we can use red warm color.
Right.
And the dominant color here is red.
Sort of sinking into love.
Yes.
Falling off a cliff.
Yes. Yeah.
And this piece has an interesting exhibit history.
Yeah. This piece is 20 by 20. I use oil again, and it's a self-portrait, and the title is No. And this painting was accepted for Portrait Society of America for a few states. That it was 2019.
It was a regional competition or a regional show.
Yeah, it was art competition, and Portrait Society of America was, patron of this show.
I see.
And from just a few states, one of them was Oklahoma, that they chose this one. And the title is No, because it's related to my life again. One of my relatives or close family asked me do this, and I told him, let me think about it, and he said, don't explain when you want to respond to me, and just say yes or no. And I thought about his question and his request, and I really didn't want to say yes. Always, I told you, personality or characters of me says always be positive and say yes. This time I said no, and I painted this one and I posted on social media earlier than the limited time that the gentleman asked me say yes or no. Then I think he had a background when he saw this painting on social media that I'm going to text him no. So this is the story behind that. Yeah.
I think a lot of women can relate to that. Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.